Yep.
Hello, Regina.
Hello.
It's so good having you on here tonight, Regina, with
Thank
me.
you. Thank you
A
for
blessing
having
and
me.
an honor. And I want to thank everybody who's joining in tonight. I see you guys are coming on in. Please send Regina some love. Let her know that you are here. So just comment. And remember, if you are watching this via someone's watch party, we may not be able to see your comments. I don't want anyone to think that we are ignoring them. Also, if you are on Facebook and you have not given StreamYard permission to use your Facebook account, we may not see your comments. So in the meantime, just comment, tell us hello, shout out your city or your state. We would love to hear from you. So I am Lena Lassiter. I am an advanced grief recovery method specialist. I'm a senior leader in corporate and the founder and president of Forever Healed. Forever Healed is a nonprofit organization, and what we do is we aim to assist those with broken hearts to end their pain and reclaim their lives forever. And we do this in several different ways. We offer one-to-one group grief recovery classes. We also educate corporate America on the hidden costs of grief in the workplace through lunch and learns, through seminars, and more recently, we started offering Helping Children with the Loss program under the guidance of a licensed counselor. We have also partnered with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, their Victim Witness Services program, also the Virginia Victim Assistance Network, and the Bereavement Coalition. So we are honored and humbled to work with the grieving families impacted by traumatic events, to include losing family members to homicide. That's near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to be sharing my own personal story on forgiveness, forgiving someone who killed one of my family members. So thank you, Regina, again for being here. All month, we're going to be talking about the power of forgiveness. Hello, Minister Ross. Nice to see you. Hello, Miss Pat, another author. We have to get you on here one night. Hi, Don, all the way from California. Again, I really appreciate you showing up. Hi, Tanya, nice to see you. Hello, Jana, is that right? Supported Miss Regina. Hello, Minister Eugene, happy that you are here. So Regina, all month we've been talking about the power of forgiveness. So one component of our grief recovery class, we talk about forgiveness. And forgiveness is a powerful tool of release, right? Because it's at that point that we decide to stop carrying the baggage of anger or bitterness or strife or whatever it is. So forgiveness is a powerful tool for us. So I want to formally introduce you to those who may not know who you are, but you are a wife, you're a mother, you are a co-owner of a business with your husband, you are a children's book author, and you are passionate about telling your story to help and reach others. And I love how you use your personal experience to launch a book series.
Yeah.
So the book series is Lena's Adventure. So I'm going to have you speak more about that in a little while. But Regina, I want to talk about, so you were adopted.
Yes.
Okay, so if you wouldn't mind just sharing with everyone tonight, just your personal story about being adopted, in and out of the system, and just your personal story on forgiveness along the way.
Well, yes, I was adopted at a very young age, and I did go through foster care. And growing up, I had to forgive a lot of people as I got older. Forgiveness, like you said, is very hard. And I'm going to kind of skip my childhood and go to my adulthood. And I'm going to use a situation that I'm I had to deal with not so recently, with forgiveness. Sometimes I talk to people and we talk about our children. This might be for somebody out here. And you do the best you can raising your children. My children were raised in the church. My children went to private school. I did everything that I thought I was supposed to do as a parent. And then, I had my oldest child kept being in the system, being locked up time after time and time. And for a while, I felt like as a mother, I was just a failure. Like, what did I do wrong? Where, you blame yourself. What did I do wrong? I end up raising my grandson. So I just felt like a lot of pressure and a lot of blame was on me for some reason. I just didn't know why. So God had to show me that it's not my burden to bear. When they get of age, like God gives us choices, and we make those choices, and the choices that people make are not our fault, no matter what we do. So I started off feeling bad, mad, angry, and then now I had to forgive, because I was like, I have to forgive him because his journey is not my journey. It's not my burden to bear. I did nothing wrong, so I'm not going to carry that burden. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I talk to a lot of parents. I had a friend call me one day and say, my son is acting, he disrespected me and as parents, it's really hard because we do all we can for our children. And then when they're grown, you might get your children might disrespect you. Their children might, fall out with you. There's parents that don't even talk to their children, whatever it may be. But I had to, in my heart, forgive my son for all the hurt that he has put me through. I have to forgive him because you know what? And I had to stop blaming myself. It's not my burden to bear. I did nothing wrong. I can't lay down and die because he keep getting in trouble. Things like that. I have to learn how to forgive and let God handle the rest. So I wanted to share that because that was something recently that I had to go through about forgiveness. And I learned I had to forgive a lot of people. A couple of years ago, one of my best friends committed suicide. She gave me a party the day before. Me and my husband were renewing our 10-year anniversary. And she gave me kind of like a bridal shower. So we all met at her house. We all had a good time, And the next day she killed herself. I was angry for years. It happened about maybe 5-6 years ago. I was so angry, and I held that thing because I was like, we grew up together. I moved to Richmond with her from Ohio. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. So that thing bothered me because I'm like, I'm supposed to be one of your best friends. Whatever you were going through, you couldn't talk to me about it. And then you give me it's almost like you gave me in my heart, I felt like you gave me a farewell party. And so it took me a long time to forgive her. I had to forgive her, and God had to really work on my heart because I was angry. I was sad. And then I spent a lot of time being angry about it. And it would bother me. I couldn't sleep. Sometimes I was just angry about that thing. But then God had to show me another time, he showed me again, that wasn't you.
Right.
That's not you, so you can't carry that. So I had to stop carrying her death. I had to stop carrying it because I was carrying it and I was holding it in, but I was angry at her. So, I had to forgive her. Because mental health is real. My husband owns a mental health agency. It's real. And you could be okay 1 minute and not okay the next.
That's right.
So just all in my life that I always had to forgive somebody. And I'm finally getting to the point where I have to, my pastor said something to me just Sunday. Regina, you got to stop carrying everybody's load. Like he said it in the sense of that. Like, stop carrying people's stuff.
Yeah.
And whoever's out here listening, we have to stop carrying people's stuff.
That's right. And that's what I always say, Regina, that it's almost like it's not you exposing anybody's baggage. And I just shared this recently, right? It's about us putting down that baggage, letting go of that baggage, not carrying that baggage.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to your son because I want to address both issues one at a time, because there could be somebody watching tonight, somebody watching the replay who may not be, talking to their children, who may be going through a similar situation, who may be upset with the path that, their child is on. So, and you said a lot of powerful little nuggets throughout that. So number one, you mentioned that it's their choice. And we have to remember that we are all given choices in life, right? We are all given choices, whether we go right, whether we go left. And we have to allow people to make their choice, and not force their hand, and understand that it's their choice. It doesn't matter as a parent, we all want the best for our children, and most of us want our children to do better than us, right? To have more than what we had, and you try to deposit the word in them and great relationships. You want them to be a productive citizen. But if they choose to go down the wrong path, I want every parent to understand this tonight. That was their choice. It had nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. They have a right to choose, so we have to forgive for us. And when we forgive, we can be compassionate towards that person. And you can understand that, okay, well, maybe it's this that keeps pulling them back. Maybe it's this hurt that they're carrying, that they keep doing this. They don't see any value in themselves. But I just tell every parent on here tonight to keep speaking life over your children. Keep speaking what God has showed you about your child. Just keep speaking life over your children. I don't care what they're doing. Because I had one that was just going down the wrong path. And I'm just like, my God, what's going on? But I just chose to just keep speaking life, over him. So that was powerful, Regina. So thank you so much, for sharing that piece. And then there may be some of us on here tonight too who have, a family member that may have committed suicide, or a friend. And you're so right. Sometimes you're just angry. And Regina, and you could be angry for different reasons, right? Angry that they didn't tell you.
Yeah.
You didn't pick up on the signs.
Yeah.
And like you said, you feeling like she had given you like a farewell type of party, right? So all those things on the inside. So thank you so much for sharing those two, examples.
And going back to the children, sometimes people make you feel bad because it's this little cliche. People say the fruit don't fall far from the tree, and that's not right. I've never been in trouble a day in my life. I've never been to jail. I've never been locked up. I never, did none of that stuff. He chose drugs. I've never been on drugs, so don't say that to parents. The fruit don't fall far from the tree, because that's not true,
Right.
So that makes you feel bad too, because when your children do bad, you think as parents, everybody's looking at you like, what did she do wrong?
Yeah.
Why, So I wanted to say that to somebody out there that might think, that somebody said, hey, what did you do wrong? Everybody always kind of, and another thing, me being adopted, I have no knowledge of my generational curses. So I have to rebuke those too, because I don't know if substance abuse was in somebody in my family's, my family. So that's another thing. Like, where is this coming from? So that's another thing, I have to be aware of, not knowing, who I really come from.
That's true. We are all unique and individual. That's who God created us to be. So back to your point, to tell a parent that, well, the fruit don't fall too far from the tree. I've heard that before. People have actually said that before.
Yeah.
And it's hurtful.
Yeah.
And again, it's cliche. So just those things that we have heard before. So we say it, and we don't know where someone is in their grieving process, right? In their healing process. And you say things like that, and that could trigger someone too, Regina. And like you say, make them feel worse about the situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dr. Jennifer. Hey, Dr. Jennifer. She said there are generational curses that are from many generations ago. Amen.
Amen.
Yes.
Yeah. And you just got to pray that God would break them, because, I have 3 boys. One stayed in trouble. The 2, I still got 2 that, and that's another thing, if you have more than 1 child, you can't just give everything and get sick over 1 child. And you still have the 2 that, one thing my husband had told me, he was like, you're grieving over your oldest child, but you got 1 that just graduated from college, that's doing very well, that's never been in, my other 2, graduated from college, and look at them. Don't look at just that 1. Look at the ones that you see that are not going on that path, And I had to open my eyes and say, I have to do that. I have 2 others that I have to.
Hey, Cassidy. No, that's true, because our mind will automatically go there, right? Yeah. Your mind will automatically go to what's not going right.
Right.
And that's why, as believers, we have to every day, right? Renew our mind, right? Because you can easily go, well, this is not working right. But no, what has worked right?
Right.
Right. What is going well? So to Minister Eugene's point, and what you're just saying is, yeah, I have another kid who did graduate, who is doing well, and why can't I just see the victory in that? But our mind just automatically goes to what's not going well.
Right.
So forgiveness, that's another point. It's like we have to see the positive. You have to speak positive words daily, over yourself, your situation, what you see. Again, change even what we see, what we're focused on, right, Regina? So yeah, okay, this child is doing this, but I'm going to speak what God, said about this child. I'm going to speak these words over this child and be grateful for he's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's still some hope.
Yeah.
Right? And what the other kids have done, and all the other things that are going on in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Okay. Yes, we got a lot of comments coming. So true. We can't neglect the children that are doing well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because how do those children feel? Right, Dr. Jennifer? Like, think about how those kids feel. Like, I'm doing all this, and they, and they worried. Yes, Pat. It starts with our mind. Yes. I like this comment. She said, "Be intentional with it." Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. So, Regina, talk to us. How did the book come to pass? Talk to us about Lena's adventures. I want to talk about your path to becoming an author. So you shared with us that you were adopted. You were in the foster care system. Regina, how long were you in the foster care system?
I don't even know, because I was adopted at a very young age to my wonderful family. I love my mom. Her name is Lillian Shivers. She's supportive. You always see her on my stuff. So if you ever see Lillian Shivers, that's my mom. And my sister is Rhonda Clark. They're so supportive with what in the beginning, I was really scared to tell my mom I wanted to do this, because I didn't know if it was going to hurt her feelings or what she was going to think about it. Because believe it or not, a lot of her friends did not even know I was adopted.
Oh, okay.
Wow. So when I had to tell her, I was so scared. But I'm going to tell you something. Her church, where she is in Youngstown, Ohio, and her, they have been so supportive with the Lena cakes and with everything that I do with the adoption. So how the book got started is when my friend passed away, she used to always tell me, you need to write a book. You need to write a book about your story. And I was like, I'm not a good writer. I'm not a good, so I went to the Lord with it, and I was like, okay, Lord. Then I started thinking about the children. I said, I should write a book about a child's perspective about being adopted and being in foster care. So my husband's cousin, we were in Philadelphia. My husband's from Philadelphia. We was at a family reunion or something, and she's an illustrator, and she was everybody kept telling me she could draw and everything. So me and her got together at the we were talking at the event, and I was like, you know what? I'm thinking about doing a children's book. What do you think about doing the illustration on it? And when I tell you, I told her what I wanted Lena to look like and what I wanted, and she has been on board ever since. And she's in Longwood College. She's only like 23 or 24, and she is a great artist. So God really connected us with that. So I wrote this book about Lena, and I wanted to be in a child's perspective, because a lot of times when you're adopted or when you're in foster care, nobody asks you anything. They don't ask you, well, how, you just do what they tell you to do. Nobody asks you how you feel about it. Nobody says, so a lot of times the children are silent. So what I want to do is bring, I got one of my books here. What I want to do is bring, Lena's perspective to children with different things that she's gone through. So, meeting her new parents, meeting new children in school, like the next book that's coming out is a really cute book about her in school, and just little different things like that. So that's how I became. And I didn't know, I just want to share this. I didn't know that in 2 years I had done so much. When I put this out, I have traveled. I have been to the Carolinas. I have been to Chicago. I have been to Ohio. And I have partnered with great agencies in Richmond. And I was like, what? When I tell you it's been God, because I didn't even think that this was going to be as big as it's getting. I am invited to a Zoom conference on the 30th of November, and I have an hour to talk about Lena. And I was like, wow. And this is a national conference, because this month is National Adoption Awareness Month. So just people seeing me and at first I was like, well, nobody's going to be interested in this. But, you'd be surprised. You just meet that one person that can, the city of Richmond showed me so much love last year. They invited me to a adoption forum. I met all the judges. They brought 100 books, gave to the kids. I mean, it's just been wonderful how people are reaching out and asking me to partner with them to do some things. So I partnered with like 3 agencies right now. And what stopped us was the pandemic, because we would usually be out and about. So I'm just blessed. It's been a blessing. And now we are on almost 60 cakes that we have delivered to children in foster care.
So let's just back up a little bit, and so people can understand what you mean when you're talking about that. So you started doing cakes for children in the foster care system?
Yes. So I had to go through the agencies, and I had to go and have a meeting with them. So this was really nice. You go and you meet with them and you share your idea. And I said, hey, I have an idea. I would love to bless children in foster care for their birthdays. So, they have to go to the table. They have to talk about it. They have to know, where the cakes are coming from. And shout out to Cece's Sweets and Eats. That's Cassandra with. She goes to my church. So she does some of the cakes in Richmond. So, they met her and they met us and they talked to us and they agreed. And then I gave that idea to my mom in Youngstown, Ohio. Her church agreed, and we had about 60 cakes now. And we just started this thing in the beginning of the summer.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's amazing. Yes. And these kids and some of the pictures I put up, because some people are allowed to put the pictures up and some I don't. If I don't put the pictures up, I do put the cakes up. But the smiles on those faces. Yeah.
And see, and that's what happens when you are walking in your gift and your assignment. See, it doesn't matter about a pandemic. You know what? God is still elevating and increasing your territory. And then here you go on a Zoom call, nationwide. So, when you are walking in your gift and your assignment, Regina, nothing can stop you.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop you. So I just want you to know that I am so proud of you. And you are more than a conqueror. Your personal story and triumphs, but you win.
I win.
You sit tonight victorious. So that's what I want people to see tonight. And just connecting with the right people at the right time, right? With the illustrator. I mean, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So what else is going on with Lena? So I saw she has some games that's out now.
Yeah, Lena has a new game. This is Lena's new matching game. It's so cute and fun. And so this is out. So please get your kids some Lena's Christmas matching games. And we're working on a new website. And we're ready to do a YouTube page. And on the YouTube page, I'll have people to come on and talk about their experience in foster care, or different speakers that come on and just share, their stories, or, what's going on. And then we're still in the process of producing the Lena doll. That's going to be the highlight for me when that doll comes out.
Woo, all right. Yeah. So the Lena doll, she has games. You have a couple of books. Series.
Yeah, the third book will be out. It's coming out now. We are working on the illustration right now. Yay.
We have questions coming in for you already.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's see. This is my sister. So we got them coming all the way from the north. So Tanya says, do you want to get to know your family?
No, not really. No, I have a family, and I'm just going to stick with that. No, at this age and no, it's because my family is my family. So, yep.
Yeah, because sometimes when people, they get older, they just want to know, like their birth, parents, or if they have siblings, or someone. But I guess if you have that.
Well, I do know I have siblings because it was on my adoption papers. I have 8 siblings.
Oh, okay. Have you met any of them, Regina?
I heard that I went to school with some of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yep. So happy.
And Minister Ross said that she's happy for you and everything the Lord is doing in your life.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Minister Ross. Love you.
Yeah. So you have the doll coming out. So when can we expect the doll?
I'm trying so hard to get that dog. Let me tell you, if you don't know nothing about manufacturing the dog, I'm going to share it one-on-one and share it with you. Very expensive to make the doll, especially the kind of doll I want. Because you can get a plush doll. That's kind of expensive, but it ain't expensive as a real doll. But when I give these dolls to these children, I want the doll to have real hair. I want the doll to feel like a baby doll, not a stuffed animal doll. Because those are easy to get. You can get something, that carve out Lena and make her look like a doll. But the doll I want is a real doll. And I was thinking about doing the plush dolls. And the Lord said, no, you do what you want to do. And I want a real doll. I want a real doll with hair. I want they can comb her hair. I want a real doll that, they can just take with them. Not just a plush doll that you can throw in a wash machine. I don't want that. So I'm thinking bigger. That's what I want.
So she said, thank you, that she's glad that you have a family that's in your life, and she wanted to thank you for telling your story.
Oh, thank you.
So much power in our testimony. So that's why I love doing these things, every month, and just being intentional about our topic. Now, you on here this month, and it's National Adoption Awareness Month, right? I had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
So just line up.
And then May is foster care awareness, and November is adoption awareness.
Okay, we have another question. What is your advice on forgiving a person who intentionally hurts you?
Well, to me, forgiveness is within. It's going to make you better. No matter what someone done to you, if you can't forgive, first of all, Jesus forgave us. And we know we were not worthy of some forgivenesses that we needed. So I feel like when I hold something towards somebody and I can't forgive, it's stopping me from getting blessed or stopping me from doing what God's calling me to do because I'm holding all this for them. Yeah, it's hard to forgive. It's people that, like even your story, Mr. Lena, having to forgive somebody for killing a loved one. I don't know how I would feel. That's hard. But look how amazing that you're helping other people do what you had to do. That's amazing. And it's not easy. You could tell everybody, it's not easy. You have to, when I look at all these people that have been murdered, like, and the families stand there in the courtroom and the person has to read a letter and say they're sorry, and wow, and you have to be that person to say, okay, I'm going to forgive this person, and I'm gonna have to move on, because if we hold all this bitterness and unforgiveness, it's hard. It's really hard for us to move on in what God is calling us to do. That's how I look at it. And for me to have to forgive my own child, that's hard.
Yeah.
Because I birthed him. So, but I got to say, okay, look, I forgive you, but this is your life. You got to live this thing out. These are your choices you made. I was just going to keep praying for you, because you had said something that was really good. It ain't over. You alive. God can heal you in jail. He can save you in prison. You could be in there ministering to people. You can,
And he could do it, we know, immediately. So you're right. Yeah. And I'll just add to that question. So someone who's intentionally hurting you, we have to teach people how to treat us. We have to teach people how to treat us. I say that all the time. So if this person is intentionally hurting you or trying to hurt you, you have to intentionally forgive them and set boundaries and teach people how to treat you. Forgiveness does not mean that we have to be a doormat. Forgiveness does not mean that we have to have a relationship with them every day. Forgiveness, Jay, means that you are releasing them. You're not carrying them around anymore, sweetheart. So that's what that means. So just releasing them. And I want to say this too, guys. If you have done something to someone and you know that you have hurt them, sometimes we have to apologize for things that we didn't or we did do. And here's what I mean by that. If someone says, you know what, that hurt my feelings and that wasn't your intentions, you know what, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. I apologize for that. Don't even ask them to forgive you. Don't ask them to take another action step. You do the right thing and just apologize. So sometimes we do things too, to hurt people. And I say, own it and make sure that you apologize for that. Don't ask me to forgive you and you know that you hurt me. Own it and apologize. So be intentional, Jay, about forgiving that person. We have some more questions coming in. I'm so glad y'all are on it tonight. I'm loving this. How do you handle the pain that a good friend or family member may cause you? How do you lighten the heartache? I'm sorry, Dawn. The heartache.
That's for you, Minister, or me?
Either one of us.
You want to answer it first?
So, Dawn, what I would say is, so again, that heartache that this friend or family member may be causing you, number one, it has to be boundaries. I would say that you have to release them. Don't focus on the negative things that they are doing. Don't even speak negative things about them, because see, that triggers, your heartache. Once you release them in forgiveness, I promise you will have compassion for them, and then you'll be able to see the root of that thing. See, sometimes they're just hurt, and it's not really intended for you. You just happen to be the punching bag that day. Because hurt people, but those who are healed want to make sure that everyone else around them is also healed. So once you release them and release that pain, whatever they said, whatever they may have done to you, you will start having compassion for them, and then you can see the root of that thing. You can say, that's why they do that. And then you know how to handle them, moving forward. So again, and speak positive things about them. Don't dwell on the negative, things, but speak some positive things about them. And you will be able to see that more clear when you have that compassion. And I'm going to share more about this when y'all join me when I talk about forgiving the person who killed my family member. We're going to go deep. We're going to have some action steps. We're going to go really deep in this forgiveness thing. So that's what I would say.
Wow. Good answer.
Let's see. Thank you, Tanya. I'm glad. I love you too, sweetheart. Thank you. Yeah, and that's right, Pat. Regina was so right. Sometimes we blocking our own blessings when we don't forgive.
Yeah.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Jay, you're not alone, honey. I've been there, and I'm going to share when I talk about the person who killed my loved one, how I didn't want to forgive. It's going to be raw and real. But yes, he will do it, minister. Yes, he will do it. Amen. Amen, guys. We are loving the love tonight. Thank y'all for being so live.
Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
Dr. J. It makes it easy. Yes, sir. Yes, minister. You have to own it. Own it. Own it.
Yeah.
All right. How do you forgive someone who molested you when you was young? Oh wow.
I can answer that. I
Okay.
can answer that.
Okay.
That's a rough one, but um, I did. I had to. I had to forgive um, a couple of people, and as a child, I think and the crazy thing is, I just recently told my mom um, about a certain person that she didn't know. Um, but you just have to it's hard, and I'm gonna tell you, you have to know that there was nothing wrong with you, that they were sick, because I was a child, and I had to realize that as I got older. But when you're younger, you think it's something you did, and for me, I didn't want to tell, because I thought nobody would believe me, because they were, I just felt like, oh, she's adopted. Nobody gonna believe her, and that's what the person told me. Nobody's gonna believe. You could tell them, they ain't gonna believe, and I believed that. So I held that thing for so many years, and I think it really tore me up with my self-esteem, because for many years I felt like I was ugly. I felt like I didn't fit in. Why do I look like this? Why? I suffered from low self-esteem for many years, and it took me a long time to just really forgive those people. And it's tough, but I want to share this, and I don't even think I told my husband. I think I told him one time. So when I was younger, I dated this guy who was like so much older than me. And I'm just being real. He was really much older than me. I think I was 13 and he was 21. Um, Not too long ago, he reached out to me on Facebook, or he found me on Facebook or whatever. And he wrote and said, I didn't realize I didn't realize that I was so much older than you when you were younger. And he said, I feel sick because I felt like I was a child molester or something. He said, I felt like and he was like, I want to apologize to you. And he was like, I'm saved. I gave my life to the Lord. I'm married. I've been married 28 years. He said, but I had to come to grips some of the things that I had done when I was younger. And he said, there's no way in the world I should have been dating a 13-year-old. And I was 21. Wow. I got that thing, and I was like, wow, So I'm saying that to say he had to come to Christ to forgive himself, and he reached out and asked me to forgive him. And mind you, I didn't think nothing of it for years, but just the fact that I had to forgive him, and all the others. So that was really hard. That was something for me, because I didn't realize at the time that this is something wrong. I was 13. It is wrong.
Right. Right. And Tanya, it might also be helpful to write a letter to that individual, right? I don't know if they're living or dead at this point. It doesn't really matter, but the letter is going to be for you, just to release whatever anger or unmet, unspoken communication that you haven't been able to speak. So it may be healing for you to just write a letter to that individual. But I want you to write it from a healed place, and just telling them how you felt. And at the end of that letter, what I want you to do is just say, I'm letting go of the pain related to this child. molestation. So it needs to come from, your heart just being healed and releasing that individual, because again, they were sick. You were a kid. I know I had a cousin that did that to me. And a lot of times someone else has done it to them, so it just, again, it's just this cycle.
And I want to say that to Tanya, I took your grief recovery, and that's what I had to do, write those letters, Minister Lena, from the class that you taught. And it did, I want to tell her it did help.
There you go. Sign up for one of my grief recovery classes. We definitely talk about forgiveness in that class, and we go real deep in that class. And we do provide tools to help people deal with a loss of any kind. And sometimes it is because of molestation. Okay. If there is anger while forgiving somebody, it almost feels like resentment. Yeah. What's your advice on that?
You got that, Mr.
So I think that, first of all, I want to say that anger is an emotion. And a lot of times we're told, again, another cliche, like growing up, that we shouldn't be angry. And I definitely believe, if you are a believer and we're Christians, we know we're told a lot that, you shouldn't be angry. Well, no, anger is an emotion. And when we're going through, that's an emotion that we're going to feel. So first we have to understand, like, what's driving that anger. And if it is anger because we're just having a hard time, forgiving that person. And again, Jay, for years, I refused. I just didn't want to forgive the person who had killed my family member. I chose to hold on to that. But I know, I knew at some point I was going to have to let go, because I was just too mad. And when we are holding on to that anger, there's a wall that's kind of built up. So what I want you to understand is, when that wall is built up, nothing is really going out of you, and nothing is coming in. So even the love and the healing is trying to come in. You put that wall up because we're just so mad. We can't see beyond, that anger. That's when it becomes okay, now we gotta let go, right? We can't go to sleep in our anger. We gotta watch what we do in our anger, right? But it is okay to be angry. It's an emotion. But again, I'll just say the same thing. Once you release that person, God will start showing you some things about them. Because I had the same facts about the person who killed my brother in my anger, the same facts that I had when I was healed. But I tell you, I saw something different in my healed state. My vision was clear. And I started feeling sorry for this person versus, being angry and so mad and so bitter about what they did. And sometimes we get so caught up on what they did, and we forget about maybe their history, some things that they're carrying around, some things that they haven't been delivered from, and understanding, again, sometimes it has nothing to do with us. We just happen to be the one that they're inflicting their pain on, during that time. So, during this month, again, we're gonna be going deeper. This is just part 2. Part 3, I'm actually gonna have some steps for you guys, steps on, forgiveness. I want you guys to keep tuning in, to just keep watching. We're gonna be talking about this all month. We have some great speakers coming up. As well as Regina here tonight. She did a great job, Regina. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, God has to heal the victim's heart for forgiveness to come. The inner child must know that they did nothing wrong. Exactly. We are not our past.
Thank you.
We are not our past. That's right. So, Tanya, they are living. Okay. So, yeah, sometimes when they're living, and I don't know if you are around them, sweetheart, but it can cause it to, to become a trigger. So I just need you to release that's what's on the inside of you. And again, you can do it through a class. I can help walk you through a letter, like how to format your letter to release your forgiveness to that person. Yes, Regina is victorious. Yes, she is.
Thank you, honey bun. That's my husband.
So there you go. Okay, here's another one who took our class. Thank you, Tanya, for being open about that. So Tanya also took our class. You guys know I can't say anything unless you say something, because our classes are a safe place, a trusted place for people to come and work through their losses. So thank you. Yes, check the root of the anger. Wow. Absolutely. Check the root of your anger. Yes. Thank you, Jay. I'll be talking more about him. Actually, we did a video, so I got a video coming out of me talking about him soon. We love you too, Author
Thank you.
Pat. This has been a great session. I know we have gone over because normally we keep our guests for like 30 minutes, but I think it's needed. So you know, we definitely didn't want to rush through this and everyone's questions that they have.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Regina, for being on tonight. And as we do with any other guest, but you are definitely my special guest, my sister tonight. What last piece of advice would you have for anyone who may be harboring unforgiveness in their heart that you just want to share to encourage everyone tonight?
I just want to encourage everyone just to let it go and let God, you know, we don't need to fight our own battles. God fights our battles for us. And, you know, for us to get healing, we have to forgive. That's just the key. Because you can be stuck in a bad place if you don't forgive. And you want to see your destiny. You want God to bless you. You want to, you know, live a great life. So that's my advice. Just let it go and let God, and just be encouraged. Life is not easy. We know that. But we live day to day, and we just every day, glory to glory, you know. So thank you all for the questions, and just stay encouraged and be blessed.
Tanya, we want to thank you for being open and honest, because it's hard to get on here and, you know, and talk about being molested as a child. So I just want to thank you for coming on here and being open and honest, because it just showed us that we came on here tonight for all of you. So we thank you. So this is one thing that we've been trying to do, guys. Every month we just have a theme to come out here just to bring hope, something different to social media where we're not spewing, you know, hate and division. We just want to bring everybody, and we got people from California on here tonight, right? All across the globe to just, you know, talk about forgiveness. So again, share this video, please, with me. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forever Healed. I'm going to be talking to women. Guess what? So my first marriage, I was pregnant at the same time that my husband's mistress was pregnant at the same time. And guess what? I forgave her. I'm no longer married to him, but I forgave her, and we are really good friends. So we're going to come on here together to talk about our story of forgiveness. So she's excited about coming on, how much I love her son. So again, a different spin on this, not turn each other down, but we're going to be lifting each other up, and we're true friends. So we're going to be sharing our story of forgiveness. So again, I'm Lena Lassiter, president and founder of Forever Healed, grief recovery classes. If you need sign for a class, we are doing them virtually now. We're more than happy to help you. Share, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and support Lena's adventures. So we're going to put this brand up one more time to show you. Here we go. Lena's Adventure Series is on Etsy. You can follow Lena on Facebook. Regina, where else can we find Miss Lena?
Instagram, Adventures of Lena. And I do want to say, if you go to Lena's Adventures on Facebook, if you feel like you want to donate a cake, because we're doing a lot of cakes, and you know, and that comes out of Lena's pocket. But I have my information. If you want to donate a cake to a child, please do. Nothing is too small. But we want to get those cakes out. My goal is to hopefully have 100 by January. So that would be awesome for me.
We're calling it done. It's done, y'all, right?
Yes, thank you.
All right. Everybody have peaceful rest tonight. Thanks for joining us. We love you. Walk in your healing and your forgiveness, and we'll be back next Monday.
Yay, bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.